All right, welcome back to the last episode of this golf build. In this episode, we're gonna modify it. We're gonna get leg cramp. We're gonna break down all the costs, gonna drive it through the mountains, review the car, and ultimately get it sold, and we'll see if we get a profit or a loss. Stick around. All right, everybody, welcome back. Where are we? Episode 4. We'll give it a good hard drive through the Ozark Mountains. At the end of the episode, I'll tell you how much we sold it for and if we made a profit or a loss. I'm a bit surprised with what happened at the end, but you'll see. So we'll break down all the parts, modifications, things like that. So the car itself, I bid and I won it for $8,300. Shipping was not fun. I really wanted the car. It was far away. I'm in Arkansas. It was in Pennsylvania. $1,500 on shipping, not ideal. Do I regret it? No. Would I do it again? Maybe. Fees. Are you ready for this? Not fun. $1,900, not including the shipping. So we're in the car for $11,700. Wheels were $1,200. Hood, $500, not painted. Brake caliper was expensive, used at $200. Drive shaft was $110. Front bumper, not an official bumper, obviously at the price, but brand new, eBay, China job, $512. So headlights brand new, $438. The wiring, the custom wiring was, you can read that, $200, annoying. Fenders were $75 each, we needed 2. And then I got a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, about $400 for the lot. So, all in, without body shop, so far, $15,410. Body shop work was 2 or 3 grand, and so estimate, obviously, we're about $18,000 into it. All right, let's go through what we have. Carbon fiber steering wheel. I went with the red stitching and red centerpiece here. It will go with stickers on the wheels. So carbon fiber steering wheel. A Resonator delete, so shouldn't be too loud, but right now it's stock, so it's real quiet. So Resonator delete there. What else have I got? I just got 3mm spacers. I'm gonna go for just the rear. The front already pokes out just the tiniest bit and the rear is still in. So a couple rear spacers there. Excited for this short shifter kit from DAP. So nice little box. That's just gonna keep our gear shifts nice and tight. This looks pretty sweet, I think. Is a weighted gear shifter. It's got some weight to it. I think it's like billet aluminum or billet aluminium. So that should feel nice and good. It feels freezing cold now, I'll tell you that. Lowering springs all around. Not sure if I'm gonna install these, to be honest. It sits okay. It could sit a little lower, but I know that I'd have to roll the front fenders, that inner skin on the fender. And the last thing I want to happen is I crack the paint. So in hindsight, I should have done this before. I should have already rolled the fenders. And then if I, cause a small bit of damage to the fender, body shop could have fixed it, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna fit them. Probably not, to be honest. I have also a front splitter, and it's in here. I think it's like a 3-piece, you bolt it together, bolt it to the front bumper, rock and roll, I guess. But yeah, that's the plans. Mods, carbon fiber steering wheel, 148. The front lip, 44. Shifter, weighted shifter knob, 110. The short shifter, 270. And the ResD, the Resonator delete, $105. Okay, first one I'm going to install is this short shifter. I haven't done it before. I've watched a YouTube video or 2, so should be easy enough. Let's get into it.
Nah, definitely not. This was not easy enough at all. It probably took me what should have been like a 30-minute job, like 2.5 hours of fighting one particular bolt that just wouldn't let go. It finally did in the end, obviously, but anyway, check it out. So first we're gonna get the air filter off and out of the way to get a first look at the linkages. This is the linkage. I'm following a step-by-step guide in the instructions and a couple of YouTube videos, but yeah, I'll get some of that off. And just before we remove that 13mm nut, you'll see here you pull up the boot of the gear shifter, throw an Allen key, and it locks the transmission in place so you can actually undo the nut. So the 13mm nut itself, that came off just fine. That wasn't seized in any way. It's that aluminium base plate that is just seized to that stud, and that stud goes into the transmission. So the last thing I wanted to break, of course, was that stud. So anyway, applied some WD-40 to it. I didn't want to apply any heat because there's rubber seals just beneath it going into the transmission. I just wiggled and wiggled and wiggled, and it finally came off. That was the hardest part. Otherwise, it would have been 30 or 40-minute job.
Fuck. I've been fighting this thing for about an hour, no joke, trying to get this bracket off. Finally, it's come off. That has been a nightmare. I was about to sell this car, as is. I broke this little bracket in the meantime. I'll have to plastic weld that back on somehow. But dang, that was not fun at all.
Anyway, over with that ordeal, on to something more positive. So I'm going to open this fresh box from DAP and essentially just put everything together. I don't think I even needed the instructions. Actually, I lie. Completely lying. I can see my phone there on the left. I did need the instructions to put it together, but it was fairly simple. So just tighten everything down. Do I know exactly how the short shifter works? No, but it does, and it feels good. So yeah, put everything together, reversed order, and get it all on basically. Off camera, I did completely remove the battery and the battery tray. That just allowed me more access here, see, I'm able to actually wrench it down and tighten it all up. A final official torque down on those gear linkages, looking nice and fresh. Following from that, quick puppy visit. And then we reinstall the battery tray, battery, and air filter. Two more fairly quick things before we take it for its first test drive with the new short shifter. I'm going to change out the gear knob to our weighted gear knob, and also going to throw on that carbon fiber steering wheel.
I'm just going to try and cut this clamp off. That's what I've seen others do. Whether that works or not. Right, got it. Then, I believe we just pull that thing off, eh? Do we? Oh! You missed that, but I just punched myself in the face with it, but it's off. What do you think, Charlie? Need to change that shifter knob out?
Charlie approves, so we just pull off the stock shifter knob from the leather gate? Who knows? Anyway, pull that off. And essentially reverse order, throw it back on. Just going to cable tie it down, fold it in on itself, as in that leather piece, and it looks pretty smart.
Yo, I think that looks great. R embossed into there, engraved, and they are short shifts now. That feels so good. I can't wait to give this a drive. Holy heck, that's going to be great. All right. Onto the steering wheel next, I guess.
Again, a pretty easy one, changing the steering wheel out. Remove the airbag, so just the usual 2 clips behind the steering wheel, using a little mirror there so I could actually see kind of what the clip looked like. So yeah, pop those out. I did forget to disconnect the battery, but I hadn't actually disconnected plug-wise the airbag, so disconnect the battery, left it for 10 minutes or so just to be sure, and then we unplugged the airbag.
This is a stock steering wheel, see? You just got to pry these off real slow. I think I broke like 3 of these clips, but it should be fine because there's a bunch. Obviously, you're just gonna put it on there, nice and easy. Make sure I don't break any clips putting it in, put the airbag on, and that's it. All right, buttons on, cleaned her up, looks great. Now we are gonna get her back on. Is that the middle? I don't know. I feel like it's not. Does that? Oh yeah, you gotta be careful with that, Torque to spec. Now the airbag, which is also very dirty. We'll clean that when it's on the car. Where does this cable go? I forgot. That's 1. That's 2. Okay. That looks great. My gear shifter that is minus 5,000 degrees. It is cold in here. We are going to be racing. I'm just going to clean up that airbag.
Fresh steering wheel on, installed and cleaned. Short shifter installed, weighted gear knob on. Let's take it for a test drive up and down the road just to get a good feel of it. And then we'll throw on the front lip, resonator delete, and the wheel spacers. Then we'll take it for a real drive through the Ozark Mountains. Stick around and I'll let you guys know how much profit or loss we made on this car, because by the time this video is out, I did actually sell the car.
Oh yeah, that is a heck of a difference. That feels so good. I've never done a short shifter on a car before. I've always heard that they're a real big upgrade to the feel, but yeah, I can confirm that feels real, real good. Yeah, this car is great.
Okay, fun little test drive over. Let's get on these wheel spacers real quick.
I almost didn't even unpackage this. I was thinking the splitter, I'm not into it. I haven't drilled it or anything. I've just got it stood up on the jack here, but I think it's gonna look great actually. And anyway, no big deal. It fell off the jack, but cut to me having this thing installed, I guess, but I think it's gonna look awesome. Got cramp in my leg. Too old. Or not hydrated, one of them. All right, that was a productive session. What do? We did wheel spacers, complete the fender liners, the front splitter, carbon steering wheel, short shifter. Super happy with how this front splitter came out. All right, we're back under the car to get some more sound now with a Resonator delete. This is our Resonator. What we have is, I suppose, a little piece of straight pipe from ECS Tuning. I think it was like $100, maybe a little less. And we're basically gonna delete it, right? So it's gonna go something like that. Now, the tool I have is this oscillating tool? No, it's a saw saw. A saw saw. And what I gotta be careful of is the fuel tank is this, and it's plastic. And what I'm cutting with is metal, so it would definitely go right through it. So, a little sketchy, but here we go. Right there. Got my safety glasses on. Is this the best tool?
Spoiler alert, that is definitely not the right tool, and I knew it. It's just all I had in the garage at the time. Anyway, ran over to a friend's place and grabbed an exhaust cutting tool, a manual one. It's what it's designed for. It went right through it. Easy.
And there it is. New clamp down there at the bottom. And obviously this piece just here was that resonator, which was muffling our noise. So that's what we pulled off there. That was the resonator. So exhaust goes in and then muffles the noise, resonates it, and goes out.
All modifications now complete then. I let the car sit for the night because it got pretty late in the day. Early morning start here. Let's take it for a blast through the Ozark Mountains and kind of get my review and thoughts on the car.
All right, probably the last big drive in the Golf. Bittersweet, maybe. Gonna put it up for sale. That was kind of always the plan, to be honest. Gonna put it up for sale for about 19,000, and then go from there. Hopefully we don't take a loss. I was never really looking to make a profit. Just wanted to see how this kind of project went, and it was, as expected, super fun. Need the money back out to put into a project that I've got my eyes on. I've got a couple of cars that I would like to buy, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see how quick we can sell this thing. I did pick up a little something the other day from Copart, V8 manual, American. So looking forward to that purchase. Yeah, but this thing's been great. It's just not for me. I don't know what it is about it. I'll tell you what I do love about it. Love that it's manual. I love the noises and the turbo, and it's nippy and it's quick. It's very reactive. The Porsche Panamera I have, even in full sport mode and lowered and whatever else, it's a Porsche, so it's pretty reactive, but it's heavy. It's lumpy, and then this thing is, you know, tight and nippy. So yeah, I mean, it's great. I do like it. It's just not for me. I prefer the interior for sure on a Porsche. You're comparing two different things, I guess, right? A Porsche and a VW, the interior is going to be different. The feel is going to be a little bit more luxurious. Really reminded me of what I love is a manual. I haven't driven a manual in a long time. I've had the Panamera, which is obviously PDK. But if I had in the past, I haven't had a manual in a long time. Had a 911, 997, E92, M3, all auto. So yeah, it tells me that, especially on roads like this, the pig trail. This is the pig trail in Arkansas. You need to be changing gears and being in the right gear for the corner and all that good stuff, right? All right, that is the end of the Golf build series. The car sold. I got it sold for $16,000. Remember, we're in it all for 18, so a $2,000 loss. Not ideal. Hoped for a little more, but I needed the money out kind of ASAP. A new build was already purchased, again from Copart, in from Arizona. Again, if you can like, comment, subscribe, it really helps the video, helps push it out. Yeah, stick around for next video in a week or two, and we'll get going again.